So I'll start from the start, simply responding to a direction I received to review and comment to you directly on the information that you heard from delegates from Occupy London on the 28th of October. Committee should not construe this report as being any official positions of Occupy London. In fact, you have a communication in your inboxes from the group so indicating that, and I want to acknowledge that you have that going forward. The report is simply here for your information. If you wish to take any actions, there are some suggested recommendations for you, and obviously this doesn't end the conversations that need to occur in community around the issues around the economy, around social justice issues. You have struck a prosperity committee. There'll be a venue for those kind of conversations going forward, and your community services committee's mandate to continue to review, investigate, and act on the social justice issues. So accepting receipt of the report is totally fine from my perspective.
Any questions? I'd like to move receipt of the report and state that with the understanding that this is not, according to Occupy London, that this is not necessarily reflect the viewpoint as a whole. I think we need to add that.
Thank you. Through the chair to Mr. Fair, has Occupy London elected a leader officially to speak for them? Because I haven't been able to identify who actually has the right to speak for Occupy London. I've heard different people speak in the media. I've spoken to different people. I've got different messages on Facebook. And it's always, I don't know who I'm dealing with. So is there the intent of Occupy London of organizing and electing a leader in this democracy so we know who we're dealing with exactly?
Mr. Chairman, I've had no dialogue with Occupy London, so I have no ability to respond to your question.
Do we know who is a member of Occupy London that is from London as opposed to somebody that may be from Toronto down here with Occupy London pretending they're from London?
I have no specific knowledge of their membership criteria, anything else. I can't respond to that question.
So I could go down to a computer place on Dundas, rent a computer, and send an email to council saying I'm from Occupy London. And one could come from somebody else that has a whole different idea that says Occupy London.
Mr. Chairman, I think I've asked and answered the question.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Get your point across. Councilor Armstrong.
Mr. Chair, I just want to be clear on the process here. Are we going to have a public meeting on this issue on the 28th? I didn't hear you because the mic was on.
Just for clarity, you had a committee of the whole meeting on October the 28th, at which time delegates and other speakers from Occupy London came to this chamber and addressed this committee. And those comments are summarized by the city clerk on this report that's before you.
But there's some suggestion that may not be the opinion of everybody.
I think if I can read the letter from the group, there's a suggestion that they want to be very clear that the contents of my report do not reflect their thoughts, opinions, and position. And I agree with them. Those are my thoughts on their comments.
All your thoughts on your comments.
Well,
Hence my motion.
I'm happy to support the motion. I think, first of all, I want to, this is my first opportunity to speak on this issue, and I want to make it very clear, based on your thoughts, what you put on paper there. I certainly believe that those are probably the thoughts of many in the community at this time, that there are issues out there that the municipal, provincial, and federal governments need to address, especially in these times. And certainly what's happened recently, is sending a clear message that people need us, all levels of government, to begin to listen and listen more and to take some action. And we should be doing that. So I just want to make sure on my part, and obviously I'm going to speak on the rest of the council, I certainly support us moving ahead in a proactive way and trying to address some of these issues that have been raised, not just in London, but in other municipalities across Canada. So I want to be on record on that point. Thank you.
You're good, Councilor.
I know we do need to leave, so I'll support that, but I think also I'm not prepared to move the recommendation that's included in the report, but I would like to refer the issue for further dialogue at the Community Services Committee to allow for an opportunity for there to be more dialogue, perhaps delegation, and then to start to craft some concrete steps forward, both at a local level and in terms of advocacy, provincially and federally. So I think that would be, if we could refer us to. No, I think all of that should be referred to the community services. So we'll receive the report and refer it to community services for consideration.
So, Mr. Chair, that means he's changing my motion.
Well, no, your motion was to receive it.
Second. Yeah, but also with the understanding that this does not reflect the viewpoint of Occupy London as a whole.
Yeah,
I think it's important that we add that.
yeah, I support that. No, I'm not changing. I'm just adding also that it be referred for further consideration at community services.
Okay.
I'd like to speak to the referral.
Wait till we get finished the first part. Councilor Branson.
My turn, thanks. Occupy London, Occupy is not a group, it's a movement. And
We're losing quorum.
they aren't as a whole because they all have individual concerns. They're trying to collectively express them. There isn't a hierarchy and everyone's point of view matters. And I think the sooner we understand that, the more easily it will be to work together. So there will be no election, there's no leader. There are spokespeople, but they change as well. So it's just a new concept that we're going to have to get used to. I'm happy to receive the report. I'm also happy to refer to community services because I think it's just another step in the continued dialogue that we need to have going forward and working together to find answers. We don't all have the answers. We all have lots of questions, and we need to do this together as a joint project for our community. So I'm happy to take this next step, and again, thank you for your interest in coming forward.
Councilor Swan.
I would also support the referral, and as I understand, Occupy London is a social movement. It's about us taking individual and personal responsibility for change, and then the organizations that we're a part of, what is our action agenda to make change in the world and make it positive. So I think this direction, and your comments, Mr. Ross, is perhaps maybe we as a group and as a corporation, what do we feel that we
Mr.
have
Fair.
to-
Mr. Fair.
what we as an institution have to contribute to the dialogue rather than trying to reflect the opinions or voices of others, but us taking responsibility for change in our community. And I think we're on the right track to do that. And then each of us in our own way, personal responsibility, will be a good contribution.
Okay. Councilor Orser. Go ahead.
Pero still have I done what?
Yes, Lee, we still have enough.
You don't.
Call it vote. You want to wait till everybody else has input or just vote? Okay, go ahead. You want to, I'll call a vote on the referral. I'll call a vote referral, so
We have none.
all in favor?
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Referral's not. Yes.
I'd like the referral to the community services to be called separate.
Your microphone's not on.
I'd like the referral to the community services to be called separate, because I'm not going to vote on that aspect of it. I'm going to vote on the rest. In other words, I'm going to vote against that.
That's not where you want to refer. You're trying to refer to staff, didn't you?
No, referring it to community.
Oh, to a committee, okay. Committee.
To the committee for consideration.
Okay, so you don't want to go down.
I want to part separate.
You have no problem with the rest of it, but referring it to the.
You just like to receive it.
Okay.
Yeah. I just don't want to.
Can you call the questions?
Call the question on the referral.
To the community services. Right, that part?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I vote against it.
Okay, all in favor of that? Against, all opposed? Okay.
Oh, the other part?
And now the other, Councilor Orson wants to speak to this. Councilor Orson wants to speak.
Are we done? The vote's done? We gotta go.
No, we haven't voted on the receipt yet, have we? What? Mr. Chair, have you,
That's all right, I'll do it anyway.
have you called the receipt?
Okay, you want to call item A before everybody leaves?
Receive it?
Separate it out, yeah. Okay. Item A, all in favor?
Second motion to adjourn.